lane to be closed for the foreseeable future. The light rail is shut down between North Avenue and Cold Spring, and also Poly and Western high schools will be closed tomorrow, and commuters should anticipate heavy traffic as the fire department continues to deal with the fire, and we will make sure that we keep everybody updated. But right now, we just have to allow them to do their work and let them plan and strategize and execute as they have been thus far. Thank you.
And again, this fire started yesterday evening just after 5, according to the city. It started at a wood waste collection yard in Woodbury and then was really fanned by the wind and the flames just expanding from there. But the good news that we are learning this morning as this effort just continues, you can see that water still spraying out. The good news, though, is that we are hearing that there are no reported injuries and that there's no need to evacuate at this point, or at least that's what the fire chief believes, that there will be no need to evacuate any areas. Of course, we'll keep you posted as the situation continues to unfold. Reporting live, I'm Shannon Lilly, Fox 45 Morning News.
Thank you, Shannon. Now, the site of the fire, Camp Small, you see that right in the middle of your screen. Those are piles, just stacks of logs and a whole lot of wood in that area. And it's right across the highway from both Baltimore Polytechnic Institute and Western High School. Both schools are closed today as this situation develops. But looking at this map, you can see the tennis courts right there with Polytechnic on the right-hand side of your screen, then 83, and then the light rail. But either side, the top and the bottom of that wood pile that is actually still on fire, those are the two electric transfer grid parks. That's what one person told me this morning. Wasn't exactly sure of the technical terms, and that's what they were mainly concerned about, the fire spreading because of the winds last night to either one of them or taking down some of those lines that are around that area. Now, we heard from Fire Chief, though, who told us last night, we heard about this, it's the wind that they were trying to keep in mind, and responders as they were working to control the fire. Yeah, we want to bring in meteorologist Justin Chambers into this conversation. Certainly that wind, a big topic of our story today. Is that continuing now, Justin? Well, the good news is today, guys, is the wind will be less than yesterday. Remember, we had the wind advisory. We were talking about 40 and 50 mile an hour wind gusts, and you get any kind of little spark on a fire, and that's going to start that thing and continue to help that really grow. That's what we saw yesterday afternoon and into the evening time. These are the current wind speeds right now, about the calmest conditions we've seen. Single digits, maybe about 10 to 12 miles an hour right around Baltimore City. It's a strong westerly and northwesterly wind. When you look at the wind gusts, we've seen some gusts just in the last 15 or 20 minutes at 21 to 29 miles an hour. So again, we still have the potential for some of those wind gusts, a little stronger for the eastern shore right now than in Baltimore City where that fire is at this time. But either way, as we go later into the day, those wind numbers or the wind speeds will go down. And then you have to factor in the cold temperatures. So as you're getting out this morning, it feels like the teens and 20s right now. You got to make sure to layer up. Windy and cold this morning, lots of sun this afternoon, less wind as we get into your Friday evening, and then a milder weekend right around the corner. So Mr. Bo says we're good to go on your morning drive, at least temperature-wise. It's going to be cold. We know obviously 83 is closed. This comes after yesterday when 95 was closed there at the tunnels from that fire, but that is now reopened there on 95, which is definitely good news. Either way, we'll make sure to bundle up here for your commute as you're getting the kids out to the bus stop as well this morning. We'll take a closer look at that full weekend forecast in just a few. This morning, we are following a separate fire that left a house partially collapsed on Keswick Road in North Baltimore. First responders were active on scene just after 2 this morning. This happened on the same block as another 5-alarm fire 2 months ago that killed 2 people. We know the investigation continues. We're going to update you on this story as soon as we learn more. New details. Fox 45 News is hearing from the Department of Juvenile Services a week after we began questioning youth crime across Maryland. Since October 1st, the department has reported more than 10 cases a day. On average, in total, 637 cases have been referred. Auto theft is the biggest issue among the youth, with 108 referred in just the last 60 days. But questions remain about what is happening to young offenders after they're being referred to DJS. All we know from the department is the number of children currently on ankle monitors as of December 2nd A total of 246 children in total were wearing ankle monitors.
But remember, 637 cases have been referred to top prosecutors' offices for charges. Despite the lack of clarity in this data here, during a Fox 45 News interview with DJS Secretary Vincent Giraldi, he says what his agency is doing to prevent juvenile crime is working.
To improve public safety, we're trying to do it by holding kids accountable and by turning their lives around and rehabilitating them. And that most often, that's working well.
What does accountability look like to you?
Well, if my child was put on an electronic monitor and arrested for a crime, that would at least be some measure of accountability.
We asked DJS where the 70 juveniles who we know were arrested by Baltimore police last month. So far, we have not received a response. 'Tis a season of giving, how you can help give children in need just in time for Christmas.
And some of Baltimore's top elected officials have approved a pay raise for themselves. How much of an increase they're going to see and how it impacts you. Time now 6:08. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. Happening today, you have a chance to make the holidays brighter for families in need.
Yeah, Fox 45's annual Toys for Tot drive is happening now, collecting toys for children of all ages, and there's still some time for you to pitch in. Olivia Dange joining us now with how we can help. Olivia?
Yeah, good morning, Tom. So the boxes are starting to fill up with toys already, which is great to see. We're starting to see a couple organizations make their way here to Towson University to donate these toys, and it's just incredible. One of those organizations I'm joined with right now. So this is Logan and Nicole from Local 486. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for all these toys that you donated. We're going to take a look at those in a second. But first, just tell me a little about who you guys are and how you got involved in this.
So we're Local 486. We're the Plumbers and Steam Fitters Union, and we work in schools and hospitals, and we just wanted to, we saw everybody that was less fortunate than us. We just wanted to give back to the community and just
Help
That's it.
out. And
Yeah,
I mean, you
help
guys
out.
definitely have. So let's take a look at some of these toys. Tell us a little about how many boxes you guys have here and kind of how your process works. This is not the first year you've done this, right? You've done this before?
No, we've been coming back for a couple years now, and we have about 8 boxes and 2 bikes on the side here. And we did a little bit of fundraising ourselves to raise money and went out and shopping for toys, and then we had our apprentices themselves bring in toys to the school.
And you guys did a great job. It's awesome to see the community come together. We know that these toys go right back into our community to kids in need. So it's just such a great event. We're so happy that you guys are here. Thank you for all of your donations. And again, come down here to Towson University. We're right outside of Auburn House. We started at 5 and we're going to be here until 10. You can bring toys. It's just a great event. So come on down to Towson University. Back to you, Megan and Tom.
Olivia, the manhunt for the suspect in the assassination-style killing, the assassination of the UnitedHealthcare CEO is still underway. How his murder is sending shockwaves through corporate America and how insurance claims are now handled.
And we are watching that massive brush fire along 83 and the impacts this is having on your morning commute. A live look there. The efforts underway as we speak to put this fire out and reopen some of these roads for you this morning. Time now 6:14. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.
Brian was a wonderful person with a big heart and who lived life to the fullest. He will be greatly missed by everybody. Our hearts are broken and we are completely devastated by this news. He touched so many lives.
His wife speaking, the father of 2, and we are getting more information about the suspected assassin who killed the UnitedHealthcare CEO in New York. Police providing updates this morning about who he is, but have yet to disclose a motive, although speculation is mounting. Well, joining us now for this week's Washington Wrap and the impacts this murder has, political commentator and Baltimore Sun co-owner Armstrong Williams. Good morning, Armstrong.
Good morning, Tom.
It's amazing how far this investigation is going. We're talking about it started out with speculations on insider trading as people are looking for a motive. Those investigations, now accusations about claim denials, could be a motive in this murder because the words deny, defend, depose were on the shell casings found on some of the bullets or those casings right at the scene where they were used to shoot the CEO.
Well, there was an author who wrote a book about deny, delay, defend, on how healthcare just fleece people. Parents needing the insurance to pay for the cancer care, and because the insurance companies refuse to pay it, the parents end up dying, and still some 20 years later, the kids are still paying for it. How you get into an automobile accident and you cannot buy a new automobile until this one is settled, and how they delay 6 or 7 months, which can be very devastating. It's no justification to kill anyone, but there's no question in mind why someone put all this thinking and thought into assassinating the CEO of this health company to send a message that what all of Americans are thinking of how to exploit it, taking advantage of. They're paid all this money, and people out here dying and are just really just being exploited to the nth degree. So it's really sad, but it does show a deeper issue that is going on with a lot of these companies who literally have no interest in being there for Americans in their time of need and stress and when someone is dying. And this is just what we're seeing. It's unfortunate, but Tom, as devastating as it may be, obviously the book indicated that UnitedHealthcare was the biggest one involved in denying almost 40% of the claims. There's no question this is why this guy, unfortunately, and in a devastating way, was taken out.
Armstrong, last question for you then here with all, and we're just speculating now because we're still trying to find this exact motive, but it looks like it's leading that way. If we do find out that this assassin had a tie, somebody close to him, a loved one, died because of a denial from UnitedHealthcare, could this be a crime of passion defense then used in his defense?
This guy should be executed, okay? And everybody else involved should be thrown in jail for the rest of their life. No matter what you may think about the CEO of a company and their policies, and even though these claims are denied, and oftentimes you lose in the court because sometimes you cannot even afford the lawyers. You can never send this message if you're disgruntled with a bank, because bank fleece people all the time. If you're disgruntled with your employer, you just can't go out and literally become a vigilante and take it in your own hands and assassinate and kill someone in cold blood and in the morning of broad daylight. We just cannot have that kind of standard.
Armstrong Williams, thank you for your perspective. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Tom.
Time right now is 6:20. Our weather authority forecast here, and looking at our HD radar, looks like there's actual snow falling. This is just some of the upper level moisture that the radar is picking up as it kind of tilts up and down. It's showing that we're seeing some freezing precipitation there. So you may see a flake or two kind of flying around, not really getting much in the way of actual snow here this morning. It's all part of this area of low pressure. This is a trough of low pressure, and you can kind of see it kind of sits right down there. So that northwesterly flow coming off the Great Lakes is still with us this morning, which is still keeping our wind speeds up a bit. These are the wind gusts right now, still about 19 to 22 miles an hour in the city. A little stronger gust for you in Annapolis down through Stevensville. Bay Bridge, may want to watch for that because we are still talking about the wind gust for today. But as we go into the day, into the later part of the morning, still going to see about 18 to 20 to 25 mile an hour gusts most of the day today. It's not going to be as windy as yesterday, but still windy and cold for the afternoon. Once we get into about 5, 6 o'clock this afternoon into the evening time, wind will definitely die down, be more of a westerly component to that wind. And then we're going to see the wind that will start to pick up later this weekend that brings in the warmer temperatures. Now, in terms of relative humidity, right now about 53% in Baltimore City, 69% in Columbia. These are good numbers because we actually have a little bit more of that moisture that's left over from what we saw yesterday. But overall, we're still very dry. We still have a drought situation. Yes, we got some rain in November, but just definitely not enough to kind of break us out of that drought. So that doesn't help the fire issues there, the firefighting issues. All right, 27 your temp for the next hour. The bus stop, beep, beep, 37 by about noontime. We'll be in the mid to upper 30s, windy and cold for the kids when you pick them up later today. Golfers hitting the links today on our forecast. It's going to be at least a 2-club win this afternoon, and cold. I mean, wait till like Sunday to get out there. Even tomorrow is not going to be as bad. Oh, by the way, you guys, we were talking about it yesterday. Very excited about the PGA returning the BMW Championship at Caves Valley in August. Very excited to see the top 70 golfers that'll be here. There's no cut because it is part of the FedEx Cup run to the playoffs, so all of those golfers will be in town. We'll be very excited to see them, and that's coming up in August. And remember, in August, sometimes it's hot, so maybe we think about that to kind of warm us up, right? 54 on Sunday afternoon, and temperatures are going to stay above average early next week. We have rain coming in Monday, another round of rain coming in next Wednesday, so a couple of weather makers that we're tracking early next week. Now let's get an update on mass transit. Mark Jones with the MTA. Mark, obviously some big delays going on this morning. Good morning, sir.
Oh, yes, there is, Justin. Good morning. The fire there near I-83 is affecting light rail service. It's disrupted and resulted in a shuttle bus bridge between Falls Road and North Avenue. There's also a 20-minute delay in the commute there on light rail, so allow time for travel. Metro subway may be an option in certain instances, but expect about a 20-minute delay there on Metro subway this morning in both directions between Owings Mills and Hopkins Station. Allow time for travel there, too. Out there on the MARC system, we've got train 840 on the Camden line canceled this morning, and Camden train 845 with a 5-minute delay. For the MTA Transit team, I'm Mark Jones.
Thank you, Mark. We have 19 days till Christmas, and we are getting into the spirit early here at Fox 45. Stay tuned for your chance to win one of those amazing gifts underneath our tree in our annual Countdown to Christmas giveaway.
A Maryland State Championship game decided on the final play in overtime. We'll show you who emerged victorious and how the loser says they're moving forward. That's all coming up next in Sports Unlimited. 624, you're watching Fox 45 Morning News. We are all local all morning.
Hey everyone, AJ Gersh here for Sports Unlimited at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in Annapolis, where Mervo was here seeking their third state title in 4 years in Class 4A, 3A. 14-0, Mervo's now on their heels. Davon Smith Jr., with all the time in the world, finds a crossing Taiwan Baker, the 22-yard touchdown. That was Smith's first completion of the night. 2-point conversion, though, no good. 14-6 North Point. Great momentum. Smith picked off by Akwar Moses. 43-yard return to put North Point in great field position. 28-yard field goal attempt to make it a 2-possession game. Hooked it wide left, so Mervo with some life. Big play. Smith Jr. connects for a huge first down. Smith Jr. scans the field. No one there. He does what he's been so good at all season long, tucking it and keeping it himself. Smith Jr. looking for the big one. Pass interference in the end zone. Holding him the next play, backed him up, but this play, Smith Jr. finding Marquise McDougal, who stiff arms his way into the checkered paint for a touchdown. Mervo needs a 2-pointer to level this thing at 14, and it is in. Tie ball game. North Point airs it out, wide open receiver, underthrown, but interception dropped. Unbelievable. We're going to overtime. North Point with the ball first. Kyler Ferreira, the QB keeper, scores for the Eagles, and the kick is good. Mervo gets a chance to answer, and they do. Davon Smith Jr. does it with his legs, so it comes down to a 2-point conversion. Here it is. The keeper, and heartbreak. Davon Smith Jr. stuffed at the line of scrimmage. 21-20 is the final.
Very, very proud of them. I asked them all. We love winning, of course, but very, very, very proud of them for how resilient they were. They had multiple opportunities to quit and stop playing and turn on one another. And we've been talking all year long about sticking together and playing it out and trusting one another and trusting the coaches. And they did it tonight. And so I'm proud of them, even in defeat. We're not big here. We're not big on celebrating losses, but I'm definitely going to tell them, and myself included, going to definitely hold our heads up. We'll be back. We're going to bounce back and get started as early as tomorrow. That's what it is. So,
and what a rivalry game this has turned into. Mervo taking it last year, North Point taking it by just a couple of inches this year. Mustangs falling just short on that 2-point conversion attempt, but their heads held high. They'll be back at it again in 2025. Here in Annapolis, I'm AJ Gersh.
Jay, President-elect Donald Trump takes his first trip abroad since his re-election. Up next from our live center, where he's headed and the high-profile event that he's scheduled to attend.
And we continue to follow the breaking news as a brush fire at a wood waste collection yard burns along 83 there. The impacts to your morning commute, you can see many from the live shot here this morning, and the battle underway to put out those flames. Time now 6:30 on Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Welcome back. It's Friday, December 6th. I'm Megan Gillen.
I'm Tom Rogers. At 6:33, we want to get right over to our breaking news for you this morning. We are in northwest of Baltimore, right on Cold Spring Lane. Now, this is video from last night, more than 13 hours ago.
Firefighters still working to get that large brush fire under control. It happened at a wood waste collection yard there.
We have our team coverage for you as we're tracking the latest developments in this massive fire.
Yeah, we want to start with Shannon Lilly. She is live on the scene with the situation out there right now and what we know about how this might have started. Shannon, in the meantime, also all the other issues on the roads that you're now seeing.
Yeah, and the latest update, Megan, from the fire chief is that the fire is still not under control, but they have made significant progress. But like you mentioned, we've seen even some issues this morning, a hose spraying out after it was run over. And just behind me here, you can see the massive effort that it is taking to get this fire under control. We're talking about a statewide effort and multiple roads closed, including 83 closed in both directions in this area. We're right on Cold Spring Lane at the bridge overlooking 83. Just off of this ramp here was where we were showing you that active fire. As of now, we can't see much of an active fire anymore. So that does tell you about how they have really gotten a hold of this situation, it seems, from what we're seeing, at least in this location. But we're told that it's the wind overnight that was really fanning these flames and making putting out this fire a difficult task. But agencies from around the state are joining the effort, and the more than 100 firefighters to put this out. Their biggest priority here, though, is protecting the surrounding area and containing the fire. So to do that, the plan is to move heavy equipment in and try to cut a ring around this fire and contain it within its footprint. Now, when asked whether he's worried about this fire spreading to other areas, Chief Wallace does say that teams are on standby for that.
They are. So we have 2 strike teams that are dedicated to responding within a certain radius around this area. One strike team is right here near us. The other one is over at Poly. And as soon as we get a 911 call, we immediately deploy those strike teams right to that area to suppress any fires. We've had spot fires, nothing major, and we're going to continue to have that threat as long as there's flames back there and we keep this wind up. That is going to continue to be a threat. It will be a threat through the remainder of the night.
Now you can see here how firefighters are now putting back together that hose that was spraying out some water just a few moments ago. As you can imagine, though, this is having widespread impacts today across the city, on drivers, on light rail riders. I-83 is still shut down in both directions from the Northern Parkway exit to Druid Park Lake Drive. The light rail is shut down between North Avenue and Cold Spring, and also Poly and Western high schools will be closed today, and drivers can just expect some heavy traffic. The good news, though, there are no reported injuries in this fire, and there's no expectation of any evacuations being needed. Of course, we'll keep you posted on that. As for how the fire started, that is also still being investigated. Reporting live, I'm Shannon Lilly, Fox 45 Morning News.
Thank you, Shannon. One of the big elements in that fire was the wind last night and, of course, the dry conditions.
Yeah, let's bring in meteorologist Justin Chambers, see if that's going to be changing here today, Justin.
Yeah, the good news is we're not seeing as much wind. Just stepped outside myself. Doesn't feel very windy. And when you look at the wind speed map right here, about 9-10 miles an hour. Winds have definitely died down a bit. We still are seeing some wind gusts anywhere from 20 to 25 miles an hour. But later today, that wind will be a lot less than it was yesterday. So on your morning drive, temps in the upper 20s and lower 30s. Mr. Bowe says it's cold, so make sure to get the heaters going on the cars before you head out. Back to you.
The Fox 45 Toys for Tots roll call is happening right now, and check it out. Look at all of these boxes that we are already filling up with toys. Coming up next, find out how you can help.
Well, the big question again is how long will this chilling wind be sticking around?
Meteorologist Justin Chambers, he's talking about the weekend warm-up in our next weather maker. 6:37 now, you're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
A strong earthquake off the Northern California coast Thursday jolted products from store shelves and made sloshing waves in these swimming pools. The 7.0 magnitude quake struck west of Ferndale, was felt as far south as San Francisco, and prompted a brief tsunami warning from the Monterey Bay area into Oregon. Meanwhile, in Kalamazoo, lots of heavy snow and pops of color in this tree from birds sticking close to these feeders.
Live at that massive fire that started 13 plus hours ago right next to the JFX. And yeah, our drone is up and showing you kind of how widespread that is and why the Jones Fall Expressway is closed down between Northern Parkway and Cold Spring.
Still a very active scene out there. You see the smoke still in the air as crews try to get this under control, get these roads back open. As you are heading out the door this morning, we're going to give you updates on the roads you can take, alternative ways to get around if you need to go through that big thorough through of 83 here this morning. Shannon Lilly live on the scene. We'll check in with her in just a moment as well. But again, a live shot there as this brush fire continues to burn here just next to 83.
Also happening today, you have a chance right now to make Christmas special for children who are in need. And the best way to give back this holiday season is with a toy.
The annual Toys for Tots drive has collected toys for kids of all ages, and there is still time to pitch in.
Yeah, in fact, Olivia Dance is live at the Auburn House on Towson University's campus, learning how you can support the cause. Good morning, Olivia.
Good morning, Megan and Tom. Yeah, this is a great cause, and check it out. We already have a lot of toys. These boxes are starting to fill up, but there's also a lot of empty boxes. So we need people to come down, donate, and we're already starting to see a lot of organizations, people start to donate these toys. So obviously a very exciting event and a great cause, really spreading that Christmas cheer. Now they're looking for new unwrapped toys up to ages 14. And as I said, we're getting a lot of donations already from some organizations. So I want to bring in one of those organizations. This is Neil from Clear Ridge Defense. Good morning.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
Thank you for being here with us. So I saw you guys bringing in the boxes that you donated. Tell us a little bit about what you guys do and how you got involved in this.
Yeah, so I'm representing Clear Ridge Defense. We're a cyber contracted company that employs about 90% military veterans, which is pretty cool. But we have monthly happy hours, and we have everybody bring any toys that they want to donate and collect them then. And then there's some onesie twosies that bring them to work, and we collect there as well. And then the company as well at the end, they donate a good bit at the end just to make sure we have enough for all the children. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And we know that these toys are going back to kids locally here in our community. So, I mean, just talk about, for you even personally, you know, what it's like to be able to give back and donate to kids locally.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome, right? Being able to actually be privileged enough to give back to the community that you're supporting and that you're in. And that supports you, too. So so it's a pretty awesome opportunity, and Clear Ridge Defense definitely does a good job with that throughout the year as well.
Well, thanks for speaking with us. Thanks for bringing in toys. You guys are definitely contributing to a great cause, and you can too. It's very simple. You just want to come down here to Towson University, bring some toys, put them in the box, and it's a great cause. So we hope you come out. We'll be here until 10 this morning. Again, we're at Auburn House here at Towson University. Back to you guys.
Doesn't take much to make a huge difference.
Yeah, thank you, Olivia. We appreciate it. We'll be checking back with you all morning long.
About 30 seconds. That's perfect, right?
Well, we want to take a live look again. Look at this. This is in Woodbury in the city here where crews are battling a massive brush fire. Stay with Fox 45 News for updates on the crew's progress in containing these flames right here. 6:44 now on Fox 45 Morning News. All local, all morning.
Taking a live look right here this morning in your morning rush, there's a fire that continues to burn. We are cutting close to 13 and a half hours now, right next to the JFX, right behind Polytechnic High School and Western High. That is what's shutting down 83 in both directions because a Baltimore wood waste collection yard is burning. It's called Camp Small, and it is right in between two power grids, transfer centers. And that's what firefighters were really worried about earlier because of the winds. But we are on the scene and will continue updating you throughout the morning. This started early, about 5 o'clock last night.
All right, let's head out back to the scene now. We have Shannon Lilly following fire crew's progress. Shannon, you were watching as there were some issues with some of the hoses. Where do things stand right now?
So the hoses are all fixed at this point, Megan. From what we can see, they do look to have been making some pretty significant progress. You can see we're in kind of a little bit of a different location. We're different vantage point here, where you can still see some of that smoke billowing up. You see some of those fire crews there still working to put out the blaze. But from what we were seeing earlier, we don't really see those flames up like we were earlier. Just that smoke still billowing, at least from this vantage point. So they do seem to be making some progress from what we've seen. Again, we are right on Cold Spring Lane, the bridge overlooking 83. You can see just how many crews from across the state are here in this effort to try to put out this fire. Agencies from around the state joining the more than 100 firefighters to put this out. Of course, their biggest priority here, they say, is protecting the surrounding area, containing the fire. So to do that, the plan is to move heavy equipment, try to cut a ring around the fire and contain it in that way. But of course, this is going to have widespread impacts on your commute, on traffic, and you getting to and from where you need to go today. So we'll continue to keep you posted on those impacts coming up in just 15 minutes, plus another live look here at the scene. Now back to you.
All right, Shannon, thank you. And the first thing we noticed, Justin saying, look at the wind out there as we looked at the smoke billowing from that drone shot there.
Calmed down a lot last night from when they started with this fire, but meteorologist Justin Chambers talking about those dry conditions and the windy conditions.
Yeah, and we had the wind advisory yesterday, guys. I mean, we're so dry, so that's why we're talking about those wind speeds that were up there 40 and 50 miles an hour. And I'm sure that really helped to kind of get that fire going, just a little spark, and you really have that strong wind. But when you look at our live cam over downtown Baltimore right now, Charm City tank shot not looking too bad here, and our temperature officially at 28. This is the official wind speed right there at BWI. Southwest about 9 to 13 miles an hour. So that's definitely a lot less than what we saw yesterday. And oh, look, even getting some light blue here on the map because we're getting a few of those flakes that have been flying around over the last hour or so. Getting some reports of some snow up into Jarrettsville, up into parts of Carroll County. This is all just that same system on the back side of that with this trough of low pressure that's still bringing in a few of those flakes flying around. Let's talk about the wind speeds. These are the wind gusts. So these gusts have come down. This is typically the calmest point of the day because after we get the sun that comes up after 7 o'clock, we will see that wind pick back up. So this is the time that those firefighters really can attack that fire. But 15 to 18 mile an hour wind gusts right now. And when you look ahead at your future wind gusts for the day, we're still going to see some 18 to 20, possibly 25 mile an hour gusts through the later part of the afternoon. But as we get into Friday evening, this is about 5, 6 o'clock, notice those wind speeds definitely start dying down. We will have some moderate temperatures as we get into the weekend. Still upper 30s today, lower 40s, a lot less wind on Saturday. Sunday looks great. Temps in the mid 50s, a lot of sunshine, and we are tracking rain next week, but those temperatures that will be back above average.
All right, Justin, thank you. Please for a pardon for Marilyn Mosby. Still to come in our 7 o'clock hour. We're going to speak with an attorney about the ripple effects a show of forgiveness to the former Baltimore City State's attorney would create.
We're continuing to track the battle also against that Baltimore. Well, there's a fire. We had a drone shot up earlier. You can see the JFX is completely closed down right now. Shannon Lilly is on the scene here. And we also have this aerial shot. You can see, look at that. Some plows right there trying to move some of those logs from that log fire here. We'll continue updating you throughout the morning. Great shot right here from our drone photographer here. Thank you so much for that. And we'll continue updating you. Yeah, there you can see where all the flames are. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News. We are all local, all morning. 6:54, and thank you for joining us this morning as we continue following this breaking news. Firefighters continue this is a live drone shot that we have for you. Now, in order to figure out where this is, it's about 14 hours ago. This started right across the JFX from where you see, like, this in Woodbury, where you would see Polytechnic High School and also the Western High School right across the street from the JFX, which is shut down right now. We have a team out there this morning trying to figure out every different angle from this. Shannon Lilly will be reporting live also from Cold Spring Lane as it's shut down from Northern Parkway to Cold Spring. JFX shut down both directions because of a massive fire that happened in basically a tree refuge center that is there. It's called Small Park, but that is what is going on. The active scene this morning, we'll be reporting live there throughout the morning. We'll be checking in for the latest here. We're still waiting to hear from the fire department on any updates.
Now, at the same time, we are also following details of multiple other separate fires breaking out around the Baltimore region. One on Keswick Road in North Baltimore led to a house partially collapsing. The scene was active just after 2 o'clock this morning. Yesterday morning, we brought to you the breaking news of a fire igniting just outside the Fort McHenry Tunnel. Remember that breaking news? Baltimore fire officials say a truck driver was injured after crashing and leaking fuel, causing the fire. Well, developing now, a group of supporters for former Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby are among the latest to join the call for a presidential pardon.
This week, they marched down to Washington, calling on President Joe Biden to pardon Marilyn Mosby. Nick Mosby, her husband, ex-husband, is also pushing for a plea.
I call on my colleagues throughout the state, I call on anybody else throughout the state to ask President Joe Biden for a pardon.
Coming up in just about 15 minutes, we are taking a deeper dive into Nick Mosby's plea for Marilyn Mosby to receive a presidential pardon. Defense attorney Kurt Nachman will be joining us live to weigh in at 7:15 this morning.
This follows President Biden's decision to pardon his son, Hunter. Now calls are growing to rein in the power of the pardon, but also to expand it.
The Biden White House reportedly is considering preemptive pardons for those believed to be on Donald Trump's so-called enemies list. Christine Frizzell reports.
'Tis the season for forgiveness in Washington. While on one hand sparking widespread controversy, President Biden's decision to pardon his son Hunter has prompted calls from some to issue even more high-profile pardons.
Jack Smith's name is on my list. Liz Cheney's name is on my list.
This after a recent repost by President-elect Trump on social media, accusing Liz Cheney of being guilty of treason, also threatening to appoint a special prosecutor to go after President Joe Biden. And here's what he said about Kamala Harris's handling of illegal immigration.
She should be impeached and prosecuted for her actions.
In response, we've heard suggestions like this.
If it's clear by January 19th that is his intention, I would recommend to President Biden that he provide those preemptive pardons to people.
Some speculating it will go even further.
That he may, in fact, also pardon his brother Jim Biden. The point being, Jim Biden is also the subject of FBI investigation and DOJ investigation on a myriad of deals.
But the idea of preemptive pardons for crimes that may have been committed, prompting some legal experts to sound alarm bells.
The biggest challenge is going to be over this kind of future pardon for crimes that have not been either been charged. To say that we're going to give you kind of a blanket future protection, I think you could see legal challenges to that.
And it's not just President Joe Biden. President-elect Donald Trump has said multiple times he plans to pardon at least some of the January 6th rioters, who he calls hostages. Unlike Hunter Biden, hundreds of them have been sentenced and have served time, although the cases of hundreds more are still pending.
How do you plan to make your
Hunter Biden's tax case now thrown out due to his pardon, which the judge called unconstitutional, accusing the president of attempting to rewrite history, as some on Capitol Hill are ready to move on.
All I can say is I'm ready to turn the page.
I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
This brings us to our national question of the day. Should the president pardon people for crimes in which they have not even been charged yet? So far, 99% of those who have voted responded no. You can make your voice heard right now by going to foxbaltimore.com/vote and click on the Polls tab.
This morning, we are taking a look at our top stories coming up at 7 o'clock, starting with that massive brush fire just off of 83, which part of it is closed right now. We're going to take a live look back at the scene there as firefighters continue to work tirelessly to put out those flames.
And we're expecting the fire to impact your morning commute. Stay right here with Fox 45 all morning long as we're tracking the best routes for you to take.
95 today, it's 83. Man, we just can't catch a break. And we're also dealing with those cold conditions and the wind, which is not done yet. We'll break down what we can expect on Fox 45 Morning News. Let's go.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Straight up 7 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday morning, December 6th. I'm Tom Rogers.
I'm Megan Gilland, and we start with that big story that we've been following.
Yeah, we are talking more than 13 hours now. A massive fire in the breaking news in northwest Baltimore. And this is happening on Cold Spring Lane between Northern Parkway and Cold Spring Lane. Taking a live look at some of the flames that are still going. This is it's being called a large brush fire, but actually it's a massive park. It's called Camp Small, where they bring all down trees across the city and they pile them there. Those logs stacked, according to the fire captain, saying 30 feet high in some places have been burning. Not sure what started it, but there was a scene, if we can show the scenes yesterday. This is a live look right now this morning, but we can show the scenes from last night, the fire starting around 5. All right, here's a drone shot. Still, we're staying with this live shot. The biggest impact, and you can see it on the top of your screen right there, that's one of those electric grid yards, transfer grids. I was speaking with somebody at the city of Baltimore that was talking about that, and they were nervous about the fire spreading to those two grids on either end of this massive fire that's ongoing now. The windy conditions playing a big role in making the job difficult for firefighters.
As a result of this big story this morning, we have live team coverage for you this morning. Obviously, we have coming up in a few minutes, meteorologist Justin Chambers here tracking the weather conditions, which we know have caused some challenges for those fire crews out there working hard. We begin, though, with Shannon Lilly live at the scene with the latest on what's happening out there right now. Shannon, what are you seeing?
Well, we've been watching this unfold all morning long, Megan. I did just try to speak with some firefighters here, most saying that they can't give media any updates at this point. But I did hear from one of them who does believe that the fire is more contained than it was before. That's what we've been seeing with our own eyes. Just behind me, as the sun is now up, you can see that smoke billowing still, but the flames that we were really seeing as we arrived here this morning, mostly gone. I still see a few flames there as fire crews continue to spray water on it to work to get this fire under control, but a lot calmer than what we were seeing even when we got here on scene, and then of course from last night as well. We are right on Cold Spring Lane, the bridge overlooking 83, and just off this ramp was where that active fire is, and the teams of firefighters working to spray it down. We're told it's the wind overnight that's really fanning these flames, making putting out this fire a difficult task. But agencies from around the state are joining the effort. We're talking more than 100 firefighters and state agencies working to put this out. Now, in this last media update, Baltimore Fire Chief Wallace says that they've gained the upper hand, but the fire is still not under control. But again, as we've watched this unfold this morning, it does look to be a lot better than what we were seeing when we first got here. The biggest priority, though, they say, is protecting the surrounding area and containing the fire. But as you can imagine, this is going to have widespread impacts today across the city and on drivers, light rail riders. So here's Mayor Scott with what you can expect.
83 is closed in the city, period, blank, full stop. We know they should expect Cold Spring Lane to be closed for the foreseeable future. The light rail is shut down obviously between North Avenue and Cold Spring, and also Poly and Western high schools will be closed tomorrow, and commuters should anticipate heavy traffic as the fire department continues to deal with the fire, and we will make sure that we keep everybody updated. But right now, we just have to allow them to do their work and let them plan and strategize and execute as they have been thus far. Thank you.
And again, as we give you another live look here from the scene, that smoke still billowing, which we can really see as the sun is now up. All north and southbound lanes of 83 in this area from Fayette to Northern Parkway remain closed this morning. We've seen quite a few drivers be turned around. And so this is, of course, impacting a lot of people across the region. The good news, though, there are no reported injuries and there's no need for evacuations, at least according to Chief Wallace in his last update. And as far as what started the fire, that's still being investigated. Reporting live, I'm Shannon Lilly, Fox 45 Morning News.
Thank you, Shannon. We continue our live team coverage for you on that massive fire. We have our meteorologist who has been talking about the wind.
Yeah, Justin, as we were watching that smoke, I right away said, oh, that's a good thing. It looks like it was going straight up. And you said time is going to be changing things here.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And the sun is not up just yet. I know Shannon was saying that. It's getting close to sunrise. We're getting very close to that. But as that sun comes up, warms the ground, that's when the wind starts to pick up. So this is going to be the calmest point of the day or the night as they can get to try to fight that fire. You can see our wind speeds right now. These are the sustained wind speeds, and this is around downtown Baltimore into BWI, down through Annapolis. We're talking about 10 to 11, maybe 12 miles an hour. Then we look at some of the wind gusts that we've seen, and just in the last couple of hours, we've seen those wind gusts here that have been picking up, and anywhere from about 10 to 20 miles an hour, even 18 miles an hour down near downtown Baltimore, and more of those stronger winds. Look at Westminster and Frederick right now, 28 to 30 mile an hour gusts. So as we get into the next few hours, we do expect that wind to continue to pick up. It will not be as windy overall today, but it's still going to be a windy and cold day for sure. Mostly sunny skies for the afternoon. Good news is by this evening, that wind is expected to die down quite a bit, and we actually have a milder weekend around the corner in terms of our temperatures. They're going to be going up. We'll take a closer look at all of that coming up in just a few minutes from right now.
All right, Justin, thank you. Taking a look at our Lens Solar traffic network. In addition to what we're seeing on 83, we'll get to that in a moment. We're tracking a disabled vehicle on 95 North in White Marsh. It's causing some backup at the moment. A lot of people concerned about 95 near the tunnel after yesterday's tractor trailer fire. That is now back open. Elsewhere, our big story this morning, 83 again still closed both ways at the scene of that brush fire there. We're going to continue to follow both of these incidents all morning long as this continues to develop. A live look, meantime, a drone shot here overlooking that brush fire here just off of Cold Spring. You can see those flames still igniting here. What are we? 12, 13, 14 hours now since this fire started. So we're following this story as those crews are battling this. We'll let you know as road conditions improve and as you are then able to get back to work.
7:07 this morning. We are following new details in the fight to tame juvenile crime statewide. Fox 45 News is hearing from the Department of Juvenile Services a week after we began questioning youth crime across Maryland.
Since October 1st, the department has reported more than 10 cases a day on average. In total, 637 cases have been referred.
Now, auto theft has resulted in the most cases being referred, with 108 in just the last 60 days. Questions remain about what is happening to young offenders after they are referred to DJS. Well, what we know from the department is the number of children currently on ankle monitors. As of December 2nd, a total of 246 were wearing ankle monitors. But remember, 637 cases have been referred to top prosecutors' offices for charges. Despite the lack of clarity in the data, during a Fox 45 News interview with DJS Secretary Vincent Giraldi, he says what his agency is doing to prevent juvenile crime is working.
To improve public safety, we're trying to do it by holding kids accountable and by turning their lives around and rehabilitating them. And that most often, that's working well.
What does accountability look like to you?
Well, if my child was put on an electronic monitor and arrested for a crime, that would at least be some measure of accountability.
We asked DJS where the 70 juveniles we know were arrested by Baltimore police in the last month are. So far, we have not gotten a response. We do have an update for you this morning in the high-profile killing of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson.
We have brand new images this morning showing the face of the suspected shooter.
Let's get right over to Taylor Stewart in our live center. Taylor.
That's right. We're starting off here with a live look over New York City with a major break in the killing of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. This morning, New York police sharing these images of the suspect they say is seen here smiling in a lobby of a Manhattan hostel moments before the attack. attack. Now, new surveillance video is helping police piece together a timeline of the attack. Now, notice this video. Let's go to the next video if we can, because I want to show you guys the timestamp on this video if we can. Less than an hour before the shooting, he is seen walking down the street, 55th Street, and then later riding his bike later that morning. Investigators say the gunman traveled on a bus that began its route from Atlanta to New York City. Here's the timeline right now, according to police. The gunman arrived at a Manhattan bus terminal on November 24th, checked into a hostel before going out to stake out the Hilton where that shooting took place. It appears he then checked out of the hostel for a night, returned in an Uber a day later. That was November 30th. He rebooked a room with a fake New Jersey ID, but by December 4th, that's when he waited several minutes outside the Hilton before he gunned down the CEO, Thompson. Here's his wife.
Brian was a wonderful person with a big heart and who lived life to the fullest. He will be greatly missed by everybody. Our hearts are broken.
And now, more context to the messages found on the ammunition at the crime scene. Depose and delay, shorthand for a commonly used term by insurers and by lawyers and insurance industry critics to describe tactics used by insurers to avoid paying claims right now. Another look here at the man that police are trying to bring in for questioning. They say all indications are that it was a premeditated attack, while the motive remains unclear. We'll keep you posted from the Live Center. Back to you.
All right, Taylor, thank you. Well, the holiday season is in full swing, and that means our annual Toys for Tots roll call is back.
Olivia Danz joining us live this morning with... Oh, well, Marriott's Ridge High School are participating at Towson University this morning. Good morning, Olivia.
Good morning, Tom. That's exactly right. We have students here from Marriott's Ridge High School. They brought a bunch of toys, and they're already starting to load them up into the boxes here. But I have Jaya. She is a senior at Marriott's Ridge High School. You just committed to the Naval Academy, yes. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You and your peers, you guys brought a lot of toys. Tell us about kind of how that process worked. Did you guys have boxes kind of around the school this week?
Yeah, so actually every morning throughout all this week, students will bring in toys in the morning, and members of the National Honor Society will come and pick it up from their third periods.
Perfect. So obviously you're a student, you're young, but in this we're really looking for toys for kids, you know, up until about 14 years old. So a little bit younger, but as a young person yourself, why is this so important to just be able to give back to other young people?
I think, you know, it's the holiday season, and kind of spreading holiday cheer and joy to those who are not as fortunate, especially those our age with these toys, is really important.
Do you know how many toys you guys were able to collect this week?
As of today, we have 1,300 toys.
Wow. Okay. And this is, you've been doing this for a couple years now, right? Marriott's Ridge has?
Yes, 10 years.
Wow. Okay. So I think that's awesome. And we're starting to see more and more toys, but we want people to come down here. We're going to be here till 10 this morning. Just overall, I mean, just the importance of giving around this time of the year. I imagine it feels pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for all the toys that you guys brought. Thank you to all of the other students here from Marriott's Ridge High School. As I mentioned, we're going to be here at Auburn House at Towson University until 10 this morning. And then, of course, these boxes are going to be at various locations even after that. So definitely a great cause and such an easy thing to do. Just come on down here until 10 this morning and bring some toys. I'll send it back to you guys.
I love it. Olivia, thank you so much. Well, former Baltimore City Council President Nick Mosby pleads to President Biden to pardon his ex-wife. After the break, who else is joining the call on Marilyn Mosby's behalf?
We are continuing with that breaking news this morning, keeping you updated on the wood waste collection plant fire. This has shut down the JFX. Stick right here with Fox 45 News as we await for an update from first responders who've been battling this fire for more than 14 hours. 7:13, you're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.
Marilyn Mosby, my ex-wife, was selectively prosecuted.
In one of his last acts as outgoing Baltimore City Council President Nick Mosby pleads to President Joe Biden to pardon his ex-wife. Marilyn Mosby, we know, was convicted on federal perjury charges in 2023, mortgage fraud in 2024. She was sentenced to 1 year of home detention in May. This morning, defense attorney Kurt Nachman, who is not affiliated with this case, joining us live to weigh in on the legal ramifications of all of this. Kurt, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So Nick Mosby's plea to pardon his ex-wife. This, of course, comes after the president pardoned his son, Hunter. We also saw civil rights attorney Ben Crump joining that plea, saying while Hunter Biden was selectively prosecuted, he's not the only one. So my question to you, Kurt, is how does this process actually work to go about pardoning someone?
Well, if you're not the son of the President of the United States, normally what you do is you submit a petition to the Department of Justice Office of Pardons, and they review and vet the petition, and then they would forward it to the president for determination on action or no action.
And when we look at how many, just looking 2023, 380 pardon petitions were submitted to Biden. 9 of those were granted. So the likelihood of this happening, do you think it is great or not so much?
I would say it is virtually zero. But certainly there would be a chance, assuming that a petition has been submitted to the Department of Justice. Another option that Mosby and her lawyers would have would be a request for a commutation of the sentence that would go through the same office. And a commuted sentence basically means we're done punishing you. And so, the president could sort of waive off the balance of her house arrest and her probationary period. But similar process would be entailed. There'd be a petition submitted through the DOJ, would be reviewed and forwarded to the president.
And doing the math, she has about 5 months left of that home detention. I think this extends a little further, though, Kurt, too. When we look at her law license, if she is pardoned, what would that mean for her license versus if she is not? Does that change?
It does change a little bit. She would not have a conviction on her record anymore. However, there would be the facts that were elicited at trial remain. Some of the underlying facts remain. So the Maryland Attorney Grievance Commission could still determine to take her law license away or take some sort of other action were she pardoned by the president.
We mentioned that the chances of this happening are not likely to happen. However, we look at the big names, not just her husband, but Crump speaking out. Do you think that makes a difference to Biden and the administration?
I don't think it's going to make a bit of difference at all. President Biden on his way out probably has a list of individuals that he's looking at,
I'm sure.
That have been submitted through the pardon office or otherwise. And, those are probably the individuals that action's going to be taken on. Whether Mosby's on that list, only the
looks like we lost Kurt just at the last minute. Oh, there he's back again. Kurt, thank you for your insight. We appreciate it. We know some action will be happening here within the Biden administration here in the coming weeks here. The time's running out. Thank you.
Thanks.
Time right now, just about 7:20. Beautiful shot here of that sun that is up on a Friday morning, looking into the weekend. Call it Saturday Eve, if you'd like. Looking out right now, still some breezy conditions. And as that sun continues to rise, the ground heats up. You get some of the mixing, and that is what we see when that wind starts to pick back up. So calmest point of the day is right now. And look ahead to your weekend. Really not too bad. Windy and cold today. We know that. Upper 30s, but we get 40s tomorrow and even mid-50s on Sunday. Should be great weather for the mayor's Christmas parade. And glad that it's happening Sunday because Monday we're getting rain as our next weather maker rolls in. What we're looking at right now, at least on this, is some snow. Now, this is a lot in the upper levels of the atmosphere, but could be seeing some actual snow down in parts of Hagerstown, up into Chambersburg, even back toward Frederick. Had some reports of a few flakes flying around parts of Jarrettsville a little while ago. This is all from this trough of low pressure. That's exactly what it looks like, and what it sounds like is that big trough kind of digging in. So we're still getting that northwest flow coming off the Great Lakes, which is still bringing a few snow showers to central PA. Talking about the wind. These are the current wind speeds. Sustained wind about 11 to 15 miles an hour. A little bit of a westerly and northwesterly wind. As we look ahead to the wind gusts a little bit later today, we will see not as windy of a day as yesterday, but it's still going to be blowing out there about 18 to 20 to 25 miles an hour. And getting into the later part of the afternoon, that northwesterly wind will shift over to be more of a westerly wind. Looking like that wind is going to die down by this evening, and especially overnight. So that will be great for the firefighting efforts, but hopefully they can get this thing under control before that wind starts picking up again here as that sun is now up. Getting the kids out to the bus stop, beep, beep. They're looking good this morning, but make sure they are bundled up from head to toe, just like Lisa said, looking at those temperatures in the 30s by noon, in the mid to upper 30s in that 2 and 3 o'clock hour. So yeah, a windy and cold afternoon is what we're looking at. Temperatures in the 30s, and we're typically in the lower 50s. So we've got one more day of this Arctic blast that we'll be dealing with. And if you think back, you have to go back to Thanksgiving, which seems like forever ago, but just 28th of November was the last time we had a mild day. So these numbers are still going to be in the 30s for Howard and Anne Arundel counties as well. But notice what goes on. Daryl the Dragonfly buzzing around and excited about 50s returning Sunday. And then into next week, we stay above average here, even close to 60 degrees on Tuesday afternoon. So that is something to look forward to. On our future scan, staying dry throughout the weekend. So no real issues. All that snow that's going to be to the north of us will stay well to the north, but we're tracking that next weather maker, and that's going to bring in that rain. That rolls in Monday late morning through most of Monday afternoon. Going to be a wet day and a wet start to the work week. And we do have another weather maker we're tracking on Wednesday that will bring some more rain showers by the afternoon. Could see some snow in the mountains Wednesday night as well. But those temperatures, again, will definitely be more mild early next week. Tom?
Thank you, Justin. Let's take a look at your Lynn Solar traffic network. And besides JFX being shut down right now, there's 2 vehicle accident. You're looking at the backup right here, starting to move a little bit. So they pulled those vehicles over to the side of the road. You can see the marker right here. 2 vehicles involved there, and we're talking about 95 south. But you may have some issues. Yesterday, you remember that massive truck fire that was blocking all lanes south right at the Fort McHenry Tunnel. You can still see in this shop, those are open. Your backup this morning is because of that 2 vehicle accident that's way south of the Fort McHenry Tunnel. But you can see where that tractor trailer fire was, right at that median going southbound with all these lanes are going south there. That's where it started yesterday. The scanners, I guess, may not be working for your Easy Pass to go through the Fort McHenry because they were all burnt out yesterday there. Not sure if they were able to get them connected, but you are still able to travel through there. Some good news. And of course, the JFX at Northern Parkway in Cold Spring is still shut down because of that massive fire we're dealing with.
Well, we are helping get gifts under the Christmas tree for every child in Baltimore. Still to come this morning, we take you back to our Toys for Tots roll call to learn how you can donate, how you can help fill those boxes there. It is 7:24. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.
726. In Baltimore, the holiday season is in full swing.
Yeah, last night the city celebrated its 53rd annual Mount Vernon Monument Lighting and Fireworks Show.
Now, due to the high winds, the fireworks were not able to light up the skies last night's event. Many still braved the cold to make their snow globes, go caroling, even take advantage of the photo booth. The night wrapped up with a special performance from the Morgan State Choir and the lighting of the monument.
Very nice. Now, if you attend any local holiday events, we would love to see it. You can scan the QR code that you see there on your screen. That will take you to foxbaltimore.com/chime-in, where you can upload your pictures and your videos, and it's all powered by Stackla.
Fire crews continue working as you're taking a live shot right here of the wood piles that are on fire in Woodbury. We'll be checking back in on the efforts to douse the flames at the local wood waste collection plant. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Our breaking news here this morning, that brush fire that continues to burn in Woodbury. Firefighters right now working to put it out. You can see the efforts underway right now on the left-hand side of your screen. The fire that was raging last night there. Incredible as this blaze continues here. It started around 5 o'clock last night. Stay with Fox 45 all morning long. In just a few minutes, we're going to have live team coverage right here in studio and on the scene. Thank you for waking up with us on this Friday, December 6th. I'm Megan Gilland.
I'm Tom Rogers. We want to get right over to our meteorologist, Justin Chambers, looking at the forecast and how the current conditions, well, they could cause some challenges for the Baltimore Fire Department. As you heard Justin earlier saying, the wind last night was very difficult for him.
Yeah, it was last night that we had the big challenges, guys. Now this morning, a little bit better, a little calmer conditions, at least for the moment. As we look at our wind gusts right now, we are seeing some 20 and 25 mile an hour gusts. That dry air is in place. Very dry conditions doesn't help the situation with the fact that We've been in this drought for quite some time, and wind chill numbers are in the teens and 20s, so you got to make sure to bundle up and get yourself covered up before you head out. The sun is up now, and all we are going to see from this point going forward is the wind starting to pick up a little bit more, so it will be a little bit more challenging as the day wears on. The good news is by tonight, most of that wind should be starting to die down, and we'll have a calmer weekend. Definitely the jacket and the sunglasses required as you head out the door this morning. Make sure to bundle up, and if you want to get out for a run or a jog, it's still cold. We're staying below freezing through 9 a.m. Back with your full forecast coming up in just a few.
We want to go out now live to the scene of that brush fire with what is happening right now. Shannon Lilly continuing our team coverage for us. Shannon, in the drone video, we started to see what looks to be some improvement. I see a lot of smoke behind you. What's going on? What's the latest?
Still a lot of smoke, Megan. The biggest update that I have for you, Interstate 83 is now completely back open. You know, it was shut down in this area, but it is now back open. The on-ramp here and off-ramps still closed. Cold Spring Lane still blocked off. So we have continued to see this morning the impact that that's had on some drivers and people trying to commute. We'll have more on that in just a moment. But first, a look here behind me as that smoke is still billowing. And I will note there's more of a smell in the air now this morning as this fire is just smoldering. We have seen from our own eyes, improvements being made compared to what this looked like last night. You can see that most of the fire, we don't see the flames like we did last night. And a firefighter who was on scene here did tell me that they believe that this is more contained than it was at that point. We do know that agencies from around the state are joining the effort, and the more than 100 firefighters to put this out. Their biggest priority, they say, is protecting the surrounding area, containing the fire. So to do that, the plan is to move heavy equipment in and try to cut a ring around the fire and contain it within its footprint. So still a very active situation here going on as we see that smoke just billowing into the air there. But we do want to get you to the impacts that this is having. We actually spoke with a woman just moments ago, and she first noticed this last night. She lives in the area. Take a listen to her experience.
Started last night. I was coming home on the light rail. The light rail got shut down. The bus came to pick us up. We saw the fire. I mean, it was blazing all night long. The helicopters were hovering. This morning, I get up to go to work, and right now my car's in the shop, so I'll go take a light rail. And of course, the guy that was down there already said, I called, the train is coming at 7:08. Then we find out that it's shut down. It's really inconvenient.
So as you just heard, they're definitely having impacts. We've seen several drivers turned away here just on Cold Spring Lane where we are. That is still blocked off this morning. But again, the big update is that Interstate 83 is now completely back open in the north and southbound lanes in this area as firefighters continue to work to battle this blaze. The good news also, though, no reported injuries and no need for evacuations, according to the fire chief. Reporting live, I'm Shannon Lilly, Fox 45 Morning News.
Progress. Incredible news. Shannon, thank you. And great improvement from just 2 hours ago when we saw those flames still this morning. This is an idea of what we're looking. This is a map, guys, of the area, so you can kind of picture it in your mind. It's Camp Small that this is happening. It's a 5-acre wood waste collection. It's right in the middle of your screen, actually towards the left-hand side. It's a collection yard. It's run by Baltimore City Rec and Parks, and it is where Baltimore recycles felled trees to be made into usable wood products, including lumber. And we are told that some of them were piled 30 feet high, and that's where some of the fires had ignited.
Fox 45 will continue bringing you coverage on the fire all morning long. For the latest updates, you can download the Fox 45 News app. Just search WBFF in your app store, or you can scan the QR code right there with your phone.
This weekend, Donald Trump will make his first trip abroad as president-elect, and the first stop is Paris.
Taylor Stewart is in our live center this morning to explain why. Taylor?
That's right. Starting off with a live look right now in Paris this morning as the president-elect will be one of 50 heads of state attending the reopening of the restored Notre Dame Cathedral. You'll recall back in 2019, the 860-year-old cathedral went up in flames. The cause still a mystery to this day, but investigators say it was likely an accident. Since then, it's been under construction, some of the country's richest businessmen pledging millions towards restoration. Saturday night's reopening will begin with a speech from President Macron, and Sunday, the inaugural mass will begin around 10:30 a.m. While in France, the president-elect will also meet with President Emmanuel Macron. It comes as he deals with an upheaval of France's government, the ousting of the prime minister after a historic no vote of confidence this past week. Now, sources say Macron and other European leaders are trying to persuade Trump not to abandon America's support for Ukraine in its fight against Russia. We'll see how this all plays out as the president-elect also has his first network interview this weekend on Meet the Press. We'll keep you posted. Tom?
Thank you, Taylor. Again, we are talking about the brush fire. This is the video from last night, how massive it is. This is our live shot from our photojournalists Graham and Jimmy that have our drone out there as it continues to rage in Woodbury. Stay right here with Fox 45 all morning long as we continue following the developing story and how widespread it is as 83 is now back open in both directions.
And we are also tracking your current weather conditions and how that could impact firefighters. Maybe it won't, maybe it will. Justin is following that. The wind, if it'll play a role here today, 7:37 now on Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.
$7:40, and you may notice there are a lot of ways you can celebrate the holiday season. This morning, we're sharing how you can get involved in giving to those in need.
Olivia Dance joining us live with more on the annual Toys for Tots drive happening right now. Olivia, we are asking our viewers to come out and see you, see Santa, and do something special.
Yeah, Megan, that's exactly right. We want people to come here to Auburn House at Towson University and donate toys. It's so simple, and we're going to be here until at least 10 this morning. And we have a lot of people here that are donating already, especially Schuster Concrete. So we have a big check behind us here. All their lights up on their concrete truck here. So very festive, and I'm joined with the Schuster Concrete team, including Sam here. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. You guys raised a lot of money worth of toys. Tell us about that and just the importance of being involved.
We raised about $20,000. We ended up donating over 1,600 toys in just feel like it's important to be a positive influence in the community.
And it's such a great time of the year to have that positive influence. Thank you guys so much. That's incredible. And we're already starting to fill up some of these boxes here with toys. We have Santa here as well. Hello, Santa. Wave to the camera.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. But look, I mean, the boxes are still empty, so we got to start filling those boxes up. It's as simple as coming down here to Towson University and bringing some toys. You'll see that the Marines are loading up a lot of scooters into these boxes, and the man behind the scooters right here, we have Mark, our scooter man. Good morning, Mark. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm curious, over the years you have donated many scooters for Toys for Tots. Tell us a little bit about how that happened and kind of the backstory of that.
Toys for Tots was looking for something for older kids. They get a lot for young kids, nothing for like teenagers. So I started in skateboards and then moved to scooters, and now I'm back to half and half skateboards and scooters. Back when Fox 45 did the first one across the street from the studio in the parking lot, I was there.
You're there.
And I've been there since.
You've been there since, and we're so appreciative of all of your donations. Such a great cause, and you got a skateboard in hand, lots of scooters, so I really appreciate your donations, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
All right, I'll send it back to you guys.
Thank you, Olivia. A great morning out there with her at Towson University.
I remember him, too.
2 new laws are now in effect in Maryland and should change the way that you view job postings. After the break, we take a look at what these changes mean for you.
Plus, that fire continues to blaze through a 5-acre wood waste collection yard in North Baltimore. This was the scene last night. This is what we're seeing here this morning, tracking the impacts as we go live to the scene there with the current conditions. You can see 83 now back open. Coming up, we'll have more 7:43 on Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.
Right now, 7:45, 7:46 on this Friday morning. We're still trying to figure out exactly the cold conditions as you step out. Our meteorologist, Justin Chambers, getting together his forecast right here as we are looking ahead to the weekend.
Well, and the good news is, guys, if you're tired of this kind of Arctic chill, we're going to get a bit of a break from those numbers, or a break from the numbers as we get into this weekend. Those temperatures are coming up, but it is still cold outside right now. Lots of sun that is up there, and we're going to see that wind that will continue to pick up here throughout the course of the morning into the afternoon. Windy and cold day. Looking ahead at your weekend weather, 39 today, lower 40s tomorrow, mid 50s on Sunday. Should be great weather for the mayor's Christmas parade in Hamden. And yeah, getting some reports of some light snow. Now, a lot of this is basically not making it to the ground. The radar is picking up on these snow showers, basically the lake effect snow coming in from the Great Lakes all the way down into Maryland. Still that kind of northwesterly flow is what we're seeing. Some of you may see a few flakes flying, but not looking at anything actually accumulating there. We're seeing some wind gusts here that have picked up to 24 to 26 miles an hour downtown Baltimore at BWI, even 31 in Stevensville across the Bay Bridge there for you on Kent Island. Now, looking ahead at our future wind gusts, those gusts in the 18 to 20 to 25 mile an hour range through the morning and into the afternoon. Still a breezy day, maybe even windy for some, but not nearly as windy as it was yesterday when we had those 40 and 50 mile an hour gusts. And I'm sure a lot of that helped to contribute to get that fire spreading. Now, when we look at the future wind gusts, about 6 o'clock tonight, we are seeing them come down. So eventually that wind starts to die down, and we're not going to be dealing with as much wind for your Saturday and Sunday. Again, looking pretty good. All right, so as the kids get out to the bus stop, make sure they're bundled up here. Even this afternoon, temperatures will only be in the upper 30s, and you're going to see those 30s here throughout most of Carroll and Baltimore counties for your high temperatures today. We're seeing in areas in Howard and Arundel counties, upper 30s, even a few lower 40s here and there. We're typically about 50 degrees this time of year. Notice we're going to go back above average starting Sunday and riding that wave all the way through about Wednesday of next week. So Daryl the Dragonfly happy about that. On our future scan, staying dry. Our next weather maker is going to be rain that comes in late Monday morning into Monday afternoon. We are just 15 days out until the winter solstice. That's Sven, the snowman there. Debbie, the dancing Christmas tree, looking good, 19 days away. Hanukkah and Kwanzaa start the next day, so just 20 days out from that. And then New Year's Eve in 25 days from right now, getting closer to the end of the year. Here's that 7-day forecast for you. Staying dry through the weekend. Rain coming in on Monday, a break from the rain Tuesday, and then another round of rain coming in next Wednesday.
All right, Justin, thank you. We want to get another check of traffic with your Len Stoller Traffic Network. We know 83 had been closed since last night because of that brush fire still burning in Woodbury right near Cold Spring. At this hour, guys, we have some improvement. You can see crews making progress on the fire. We're starting to see those flames being tamed. Just a little smoke still burning right there. The good news on the roads here this morning, getting word all northbound lanes of 83 are open. We've got cars on the runway, some good news. However, the southbound lanes remain closed here at this hour. We're going to keep you updated throughout the morning as soon as that changes.
Well, it's time right now to open our gift in our countdown to Christmas giveaway.
So here we go. We're going to open the gift first, and then you can call in to win.
All right, want me to rip it open?
Yep, go for it.
Let's go. All right, big cardboard box.
Oh. And inside it is, I think it's going to be something nice on a cold, blustery Friday for someone.
It's squishy.
I can see some fur. Oh my goodness, cuddle up with a teddy bear this holiday season. How cute. This is Bo. He is the perfect friend. He is from Gund. He costs $50. That is the good brand.
You could feel why.
Oh, the Gund brand. Very soft.
Yeah. In fact, right now is your time to call in. We're going to put the number right here on your screen. There it is. It popped up, 410-469-8308. Good luck. Caller number 10 right now gets to bring this teddy bear home, unless Megan takes it home.
I like him.
7:50 is the time. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News. We are all local all morning.
Here's tonight's primetime lineup on Fox 45. Brought to you locally by your McDonald's owner-operators.
7:53 on this Friday morning and developing now. 2 new Maryland laws took effect in October that should change the way that you view job postings and also help you better understand how your pay ranks with other jobs. Joining us now with how these new laws impact you, Vice President of Client Engagement with Kelly Benefits Payroll, Amy Glorioso. Amy, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Good morning.
Good morning. Transparency in pay. That was the goal for these new laws. Is that what you're seeing?
Yes, these 2 new laws are helping Maryland align with the efforts to eliminate wage gaps in the workplace.
And the way that they were going about doing that, and they're saying, okay, well, this company may pay this, another company for the exact same position is really only going to give you this, and they could hide how much that position actually you get until you actually had like maybe a later interview. So it kept people from looking and figuring out exactly how much they made in comparison.
Yeah, and it also, this is promoting equality in the workplace. So if 2 people that are doing the exact same job have to be within the exact same pay range. And this is basically what this law is providing.
You're starting to see that right now when you start looking at those applications. You see a section of a pay range that's on there. Right. What if a company's not complying with that? How do we, I guess, hold them accountable?
So right now, there's been no rulings on what the penalties, if any, would be. It's just a requirement, and hoping that all Maryland employers will oblige.
So, Amy, can you break down the 2 laws and why they differ?
Of course. So the pay statement law is basically requiring employers to provide exact details regarding what the employee worked. So employees that work at different hours of different rates of pay, they have to clearly see the hours for each of those rates of pay on the pay stub. And then the wage transparency, any new hires that an employer may potentially hire, they have to list out what their potential compensation package would be should they choose to work for them.
So, Amy, does this include small businesses? I mean, if you employ only a couple people all the way up to thousands of employees?
Every employer.
And that's what we're seeing already. I know Kelly Benefits Payroll, you're very in tune with this and have been trying to do this. Are you seeing changes, though? All of a sudden, businesses going, wait a minute, we need to up this pay or decrease this salary?
So I think the changes that we're seeing is that it's requiring employers to provide better record-keeping detail. Maybe they want to outsource their payroll, which is what we do here at Kelly Benefits Payroll, or invest in a timekeeping system.
What if is there anything to help the employees that are in a position now? Because if you go to get a new position, you could see those pay. But if you're in a position now, is there any way to kind of, I guess, see how you rank up with your current employees?
Well, that's the thing. This is going to provide greater transparency for both new hires and existing hires.
All right, so great laws that are taking effect, and hopefully we'll continue to see the impacts of this. So we're just 2 months in, but the biggest thing now is trying to find out how we can hold somebody that's not following these laws accountable, right?
Correct. Yep. Yeah, so we want to make sure that the employers are following it, and again, they want to take a look at their record-keeping practices, timekeeping solutions, and definitely consider outsourcing.
Vice President with Client Engagement at Kelly Benefits Payroll, Amy Glorioso, thank you so much. We appreciate a couple minutes of your time.
Thank you for having me. Have a good day.
You too. Fire crews, they're still battling it.
A live look right there as those fire crews are battling that brush fire in northwest Baltimore. We're seeing some progress. The impacts to your morning commute still being felt. 7:57 now. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. We are taking a live look from Cold Spring Lane, the exit that remains closed. 83 northbound lanes are open as crews battle a brush fire still this morning.
Yeah, in fact, we'll give you a live look from one of the traffic cameras. This is way north of where we're talking about, where that fire had shut down still the southbound lanes. Best routes that you can take to avoid any traffic backups as some of the exits remain closed.
Wind is going to continue to pick up over the next couple of hours, so hopefully they can get that fire down. We'll talk about what we can expect later today with the wind and what the temperatures do as well.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Straight up 8 o'clock on this Friday, December 6th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tom Rogers.
I'm Megan Gillen. We want to go live now to our team coverage as we continue to track the latest developments on that brush fire. We have meteorologist Justin Chambers. He's here in studio looking into the impacts that wind could play later this morning as this continues.
I want to start with Shannon Lilly. She's live right on the scene on Cold Spring Lane right here with the situation that's out there now. Right behind you, the fire across 83. Shannon, what's going on?
Well, we've seen the progress being made all throughout the morning, Tom. We do want to note that I-83 northbound lanes are back open. Initially, we were told that the entire interstate was back open, but the southbound lanes do remain closed this morning, so still impacting commuters. We've talked to some of them. We'll have more on that in just a moment, but take a look behind me. You can see that smoke here still billowing. You can even see the firefighters there off into the distance behind those trees, working to put out those hot spots and still get this fire under control. Again, a lot of progress that we can just see with our own eyes compared to when we first got out here this morning. We were seeing some of those flames. Even last night, some of those flames were getting pretty high. Now we don't see that. We just see the smoke billowing up and firefighters still working to put that out there. We, again, are right on Cold Spring Lane, the bridge overlooking 83. This ramp remains closed as well, but agencies from around the state are joining this effort. We're talking more than 100 firefighters that have been working to put this out, now going on for hours since 5 o'clock last night. So the biggest priority, they say, though, is just protecting the surrounding area, containing the fire. So to do that, they have said that they plan to move more heavy equipment in, try to cut a ring around the fire and to contain it more. But again, we've seen that progress here throughout the morning. But now to the impact. We've seen drivers turned away on Cold Spring Lane where the road remains closed off. We also spoke with a woman who lives in this area. She planned to take the light rail this morning but couldn't. She was also on the light rail last night, and listen to what she witnessed.
I saw the flames last night. I mean, they were so high. We could see it from the train when we were coming down. We could see it from the train. It was pretty scary. Well, I know some of the wildfires in California. I know they can last for days, for weeks, but I never knew that it was going to be an all-night fiasco.
The good news, though, as we give you another live look here, there are no reported injuries. Evacuations are not expected to be necessary. And then, of course, that progress that we're seeing on the interstate with the northbound lanes back open, the southbound lanes do remain closed. Reporting live, I'm Shannon Lilly, Fox 45 Morning News.
Thank you, Shannon. And significant improvements from when we went on the air till right now.
Yeah, in fact, last night, it's been going on for 15 hours now. Wind was an issue, dry conditions. Meteorologist Justin Chambers has been talking about that and how it's really died down and helping the firefighters.
Yeah, that was really good news overnight, guys. We talked about that typically when we see the calmest wind conditions. And we saw those 40 and 50 mile an hour gusts, which is why we had the wind advisory yesterday afternoon. This is what it looks like right now. We're zoomed into the flag there at Fed Hill. A little bit of a light breeze, but that camera is shaking. It's zoomed in quite tightly there. We are seeing some 9 to 12 mile an hour wind speeds. Those are sustained winds around the city. A little bit stronger for you in Chestertown and Stevensville right now. And we have seen some wind gusts just in the last hour at 26 to 28 miles an hour. So don't think that just because it's calm, it's going to stay calm. We're going to see more of that wind pick up, and those wind speeds are going to increase throughout the next few hours into the afternoon. Temperatures will climb a little bit. We're still going to be in the 30s for most of the day today. So it's still going to be kind of a cold and raw afternoon. Come back in a few minutes with your full forecast, and we'll talk about what we can expect as we head into the weekend with those warmer numbers that are just around the corner.
All right, Justin, thank you. And as you were speaking there, we got word that the southbound lanes opened except for one southbound ramp. So some good news as we continue to follow that story. Meantime, we have an update this morning in the high-profile killing of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson.
Yeah, we have brand new images this morning showing the face of a suspected shooter.
That's right. We want to get over to Taylor Stewart. She's in our live center tracking these developments. Taylor.
That's right. We're starting off here with a live look over New York right now with a major break in the case of the United CEO who was killed, Brian Thompson. The New York police have shared some images of the person they are calling their suspect here. Take a look. These are the images that have been captured at a New York hostel. One of them, you can see a glare of a smile. This is the man that has been covered up in most of the videos of that surveillance video that's been helping police piece together a timeline of this case. Take a look at the video. Now, as you see, take a look. As you see in this video, here's what we know so far. The suspect, prior to the shooting, notice the timestamp here at 6:20 in the morning, less than an hour before he was on 55th Street. The gunman then seen getting off the metro, riding a bike later that morning. Investigators say the gunman traveled on a bus that began its route in Atlanta to New York City. And here's the timeline we're getting according to police. The gunman arrived at a Manhattan bus terminal on November 24th, checked into that hostel before going to stake out the Hilton where the shooting took place. And it appears he then checked out of that hostel for a night, but then returned in an Uber a day later to rebook a room with a fake New Jersey ID. Now, later we learned December 4th, he waited several minutes outside of the Hilton before he gunned down Thompson. That's according to police. Here's Thompson's widow.
Brian was a wonderful person with a big heart and who lived life to the fullest. He will be greatly missed by everybody. Our hearts are broken.
And we're getting more context as to the images found on the ammunition at the scene. Depose and delay. It's pulled from a term commonly used by lawyers and critics of the insurance industry to describe tactics used by insurers to avoid paying out claims. And now, as we continue to look at the man who is now wanted by police for questioning in this attack, they're saying all indications are that this was premeditated and targeted. Their motive still remains unclear. We'll keep you posted. Back to you.
Thank you, Taylor. Coming up, Baltimore's top elected officials once again approving an annual raise for themselves and other top elected city officials. We open the books to see just how much the raises are worth. 8:07, you're watching Fox 45 Morning News. We are all local, all morning.
happening today and right now. In fact, Fox 45 News is hosting our annual Toys for Tots roll call at Towson University's Auburn House. It's happening until 10 o'clock this morning.
To ensure all the children have a meaningful holiday season, we have volunteers from all across the region helping the organization. Olivia Dance has been interviewing a lot of different people that are stopping by to see her. She's joining us live. Yes, and it looks like Harley Davidson's also showing up here too. Olivia, you've had a lot of guests, even Santa, I hear.
Oh, yeah, Santa is here. We have a busy morning, a lot of people here, but that's exactly what we want because all the people that are stopping by, they're bringing toys. In fact, we have a truck that just pulled up here. You can see a lot of toys back there filled up. The boxes are slowly filling up, so we love to see that. But, of course, you mentioned Harley Davidson. We have Jeremy here from Harley Davidson. Good morning. Thanks for being here with us. I know that Harley Davidson has been a partner and a part of this initiative for quite a while now. So can you talk about that and your guys' involvement?
Yeah, so Harley Davidson in Baltimore and our Hog chapter, we've been doing bikes from bikers since long before I've worked here. And that's what, you know, it all starts when you're young on two wheels. And so we get all the kids started. It's all about the kids.
That's amazing. How many bikes do we have here?
I think we brought 30-some bikes this year.
Okay, wow. And
filled a bunch of boxes.
This goes directly to local kids. And, you know, what a more perfect time to donate than around the holiday season.
Correct.
So for you personally, what is it like being a part of this?
I enjoy it. I mean, I started off on two wheels when I was a kid. That's what I did for fun. We didn't stay inside. We played outside. So, you know, that's where I started.
Well, thank you so much for your donations, for speaking with us. We also have some other special guests here. We have the Baltimore Blast and Ravens cheerleaders. They're going to send us off with a little Toys for Tots cheer.
All right, let's go Toys for Tots. 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 Tag it. Let's go.
Woo!
Let's go.
Thank you so much. All right, we'll send it back to the studio.
Now, being excited about this season of giving, thank you, Olivia. Well, coming up, it's another week of pigskin predictions. Patrice is having a ball with our next guest. Can you guess who it is?
And looking live at our tree right here in our studio, yeah, and all the gifts below it. We are definitely in the Christmas spirit here in Fox 45 Studios. Fox 45 News giving away these gifts all month long, still up for grabs. A spa getaway valued at more than $400. Tune in every day to see what you could win. Once we open the gift, we put the number on the screen. That's when you call. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local all morning.
Continuing coverage now. Just this week, Baltimore's top elected officials once again approved an annual raise for themselves and other top elected city officials. This morning, Jeremy Portnoy, an investigative journalist with Open the Books, is joining us live to weigh in on this. Jeremy, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Megan. Thanks for having me.
So let's take a look at these salaries. How much are we talking?
Yeah, this was all approved by the Board of Estimates Wednesday morning. So that's the mayor, the comptroller, the city council president approving raises for themselves and for a bunch of their colleagues. So the mayor's salary, $5,000 raise going up to $214,000 now. The city council president and the comptroller are going to get $2,500 raises. They're going to go up to $142,000 in salary. Then the rest of the city council, 14 people, they're getting $2,000 raises.
Now, Jeremy, it is a raise, but it's not crazy. It kind of sounds like a cost of living raise. Is that the reasoning behind this, or what was said behind this?
Right, it's a pretty small raise, 2.5%. There's a 2007 law that says that happens every year, pretty much automatically. But what was pretty crazy is I watched the Board of Estimates meeting. There was barely any discussion or debate about this. They approved it on the routine agenda, along with a few dozen other items right at the start of the meeting, without any discussion or debate. They just read out a code number that corresponded to the raises, voted on it unanimously.
I think as a taxpayer, the big question is this a normal salary? How does Baltimore's salary compare to other nearby cities? Are we in line?
Yeah, I'd say it sits right in the middle, right? Philadelphia is a big city. Their mayor just got a raise up to $280,000.
Wow.
Boston is
bigger
also
city, though.
$207,000. Pittsburgh's $127,000 for the mayor. Similar for city council, right? Baltimore, they're making $80,000 to $90,000. Philadelphia is making twice that, $160,000. Boston's closer at $115,000. So Baltimore's fairly average.
So is this any concern to you, or is this pretty standard?
What concerns me is how automatic it happens, right? It's normal for that cost of living adjustment to happen, but this law from 2007 that establishes it, there's no time limit on that. That's an indefinite raise that just keep getting approved year after year without much discussion until things are changed. So if they were ever to edit that law to make it more than 2.5%, it would still remain just as easy for them to keep increasing their own salaries without much input from anybody else.
I've got another question for you. Again, taxpayers, you know, they do want to hear why every penny is being spent, but is that cost of living raise that we're seeing these city council members take in line with other cities too?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Philadelphia just got a huge raise, right? She boosted her pay about $60,000. So it's normal for pay to increase. Austin, Texas is another one that just boosted their payroll. But it does need to be kept in check at some point, and there does need to be more input from voters deciding what they're going to pay.
And that makes sense. Jeremy, we appreciate you weighing in on this. Thank you.
Of course. I'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
818 is your time right now, or 818, our weather authority forecast. 818 is a area code in the valley of LA. Like the valley, you know, there's like Beverly Hills and stuff, and then you go over Valley, Studio City, all that fun stuff over there. Burbank. Towson, good morning to you. Yeah, you know what we're looking at? Cold conditions. I had it just a second ago, but you can kind of see some of the steam rising from something that's right around there. And it is cold when you step outside. There's no doubt about that. Our Arctic chill is going to continue for at least another day to day and a half. How's that? And then, as we get to Sunday, we've got some improving conditions. We'll talk about that in a moment. 29, your current temp in Towson. West wind, about 9 to 15 miles an hour. Yes, when you look at the HD radar, you're like, all right, snowing. But it's actually not really snowing. There is some moisture and some frozen precip being picked up in some of the upper levels of the atmosphere, not necessarily making it to the ground. Called sublimation, basically, when that solid basically becomes vapor. And that's what is happening with that. So looking at our HD radar, we are seeing that lake effect snow that's coming all the way down into our region, at least to the upper levels. But we've got mostly clear skies out there. The wind is something we still have to talk about. Now, these are the current wind gusts. They're down from what we saw just about 20 minutes ago. Still some wind gusts for you in Westminster and Bel Air in the 20 to 25 and 30 mile an hour range, but a lot of us around Baltimore City and BWI about 15 to 20 miles an hour. And again, that's good news for the firefighting efforts. Taking a look at our wind gusts for the next few hours and into the afternoon. On the average, about 18 to 20 to 25 miles an hour. Well short of what we saw yesterday when we were in the 40 and 50 mile an hour range. And that's really what helped to kind of get that fire spreading. But as we go into tonight, that wind will continue to die down and we'll have a lot less wind for you tomorrow. Golfers hitting the links today on our forecast. Still going to be blustery out there today. By the way, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. I know we were focused on the weather, but the BMW Championship coming back to Caves Valley, and tickets are on sale now. So you can buy the tickets now and be like, ooh, I can't wait to be hot and walking around taking a look at the top 70 golfers in the world that will be right here in our backyard. It was a great event back when we had it a few years ago. Now it's coming back in 2025, so you can get those tickets now and start thinking of warmer conditions in August. Not the case today. Upper 30s and lower 40s are typically about 50 degrees this time of year. Those numbers will continue to be in the 30s here and up and down the 95 corridor. Now, when you look at the 10-day temperature trend, we have some improvement. Lower 40s tomorrow. Then we get a string of 50-plus degree days starting Sunday and all the way through about Wednesday of next week. It'll be a lot more moderate if you're going to get out and get that Christmas shopping done and holiday decorating done. And then those numbers are going to come back down a little bit. We're tracking our next weather maker. We're dry today. Also tomorrow, less wind tomorrow. A little bit more cloud cover rolls in on Sunday, but Sunday is going to be dry for the mayor's Christmas parade, which we're excited about. And let me show you that next weather maker. Monday morning, I'd say late morning, we're going to see some of those showers roll through, and that's going to be off and on into the afternoon, but only rain showers because, again, those temperatures are going to be well into the 50s. Even close to 60 by Tuesday. We take a break from the rain, and then another weather maker will bring more rain by Wednesday of next week.
All right, thank you, Justin. We want to take you live to that brush fire we have been following all morning long, burning in Woodbury. This is in northwest Baltimore here. Look at the improvement, the progress we have seen. These crews have been working, well, what are we going on, 15 and a half hours almost, come 8:30, that these crews have been out there battling this fire. Again, seeing improvement there. The big concern for all of you trying to get to work this morning was that 83 was closed right at Cold Spring Lane, northbound and southbound, last night into into this morning. Now we have good news to report. All of those lanes are back open at this hour. There is just one southbound ramp that is closed here, so keep that in mind. Otherwise, we're moving along pretty nicely there. Again, crews continue putting out the hot spots here this morning, as you saw from that shot. Well, the fight for a Maryland State football title goes the distance, and then some. Up next in Sports Unlimited, the scenes highlighting the joy of ultimate victory and the agony of a heartbreaking defeat.
Later this morning, gas prices decreasing nationwide. Coming up in our 9 o'clock hour, how much they've gone down. 8:23, you're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.
Good morning, everyone. AJ Gersh here in Annapolis, where last night Mervo was looking for its third state championship in just 4 years, taking on North Point, who they beat in last year's state championship final game. Smith Jr. finding Marquise McDougal, who stiff arms his way into the checkered paint for a touchdown. Mervo needs a 2-pointer to level this thing at 14, and it is in tie ball games. Unbelievable. We're going to overtime. North Point with the ball first. Kyler Ferreira, the QB keeper, scores for the Eagles, and the kick is good. Mervo gets a chance to answer, and they do. Davon Smith Jr. does it with his legs, so it comes down to a 2-point conversion. And heartbreak. Davon Smith Jr. stuffed at the line of scrimmage. 21-20 is the final.
You know, we've been a program that's prided ourselves in battling and coming back from adversity in the past regular season playoff games. We've been able to do it. I thought today was another one of them days. Unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Coming up just short were the Mustangs, 1 yard away from taking it all once again, but it was North Point emerging victorious last night, and now Mervo back at it again, looking toward 2025. Here in Annapolis, I'm AJ Gersh. Have a great Friday.
Topping your next half hour, new faces on the Baltimore City Council, the issues they plan on tackling first.
Taking you live back to the breaking news we've been following, tracking the aftermath of the Northwest Baltimore fire right across the street from 83, and you can see actually the light rails too that were shut down. 83 is moving, but we have residents' reaction to what they saw over the last 15 hours as they wake up on this Friday morning. Time now, 8:27. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News. We are all local.
Here are the stories making headlines this hour. Fire crews work to control a brush fire in Baltimore just ahead this morning. Where fire crews stand when it comes to containing the blaze.
4 new faces joining the Baltimore City Council, along with 11 returning members. The issues they're planning to prioritize in City Hall.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
We're Good morning on this Friday morning, December 6th. I'm Tom Rogers.
I'm Taylor Stewart. Let's boogie on into the weekend.
Yeah, and somebody that likes to dance, meteorologist Justin Chambers, sing, dance, play music. He does all sorts of things.
TJ Doppler on the ones and twos, yeah. And yeah, we definitely need to do something to keep moving here because it's cold this morning, no doubt about that. Looking at our live cam, this is looking over toward Federal Hill. Beautiful shot of that big American flag right there. And breezes are picking up just a little bit. We have not seen the strong wind as of yet. When you look at some of the wind speeds, the strongest wind is actually on the eastern shore. Chestertown, East Stevensville, about 18 to 22 miles an hour. That's sustained without even the wind gusts, but it is still a bit breezy. That northwest wind is going to stay with us throughout the morning and into the afternoon. So definitely grab a jacket, sunglasses for sure today. No need for the umbrella till we get to Monday. That's our next weather maker. High of 39 this afternoon, low 40s, less wind tomorrow, and then mid 50s, some moderate temperatures, definitely more moderate than we've seen lately coming on Sunday. We'll track what we can expect as we head into the weekend. And again, that next weather maker, another look at that. That's coming up in just a few minutes from right now.
Thank you, Justin. Let's get right back to that breaking news that we've been following throughout the morning here. That massive brush fire in Woodbury covering multiple acres. Right now, 83 is back open. Cold Spring Lane exits remain closed meantime, so keep that in mind for your commute.
Firefighters, as you just saw that live look earlier from our drone shot, are still working to contain that big giant log fire. I mean, they're calling it a brush fire, but it's really stacks 30 feet high of logs that are caught fire. As you can see in the video right here, it's almost like a massive bonfire right next to 83 off Cold Spring Road. Now, those flames have been burning since 5 last night, meaning that that's 15 hours they're working. This morning, though, we are also following 2 other fires. The Baltimore City Fire Department says 10 people are displaced after a fire at a home right near Lexington Market. 1 firefighter was hurt. Officials say that fire is contained. Now, officials are also looking into 2 alarm fire on Wenburn and Seedley Streets. That's in South Baltimore. We, of course, will keep you updated on both of those incidents as soon as we learn more. And we want to know exactly what Taylor was talking about on 83 and the traffic that is going on, Len Stoller traffic network. We've been watching this all morning long because all night long, 83 was shut down. The JFX, it is open except for Cold Spring Lane. And you can see the backups around the Beltway. That's typical just because of the volume there. There's no issues there on your map when you see that to the right in the red. But everybody else, you're looking great. No other issues to report around the Baltimore region on your morning commute.
One of these council members is great, but together, as one body, we are going to write the greatest American comeback story in history.
In your election 2024 coverage, the newly sworn in 74th Baltimore City Council is now looking ahead at the issues they plan to tackle in City Hall. 4 new faces join the council, along with 11 returning members. That includes Zeke Cohen, who is now starting his new role as City Council President. Fox 45 News asked our viewers what they want in terms of the City Council and their priorities. 95% of those who voted say public safety, and 5% saying education.
You got people that's more homeless, hungry, starving.
Outside of the murder rate, the drug use.
Right now I'm trying to find housing right now, and it's so hard, man. It's so hard.
Even though BGE cut our lights off, like we're trying to do something about it, and it's pretty hard.
Our Mackenzie Frost takes a closer look at the new council and their priorities on this week's edition of Fox 45 News In Depth. If you missed it, you can catch it Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. or right now on our YouTube page.
We have new images of the alleged shooter in the murder of CEO Brian Thompson, and they've surfaced. Coming up, the new surveillance video that's helping police piece together a timeline.
And today we're looking at cold temperatures again with highs in the 30s coming up when that warmer temperature is expected to arrive in time for your weekend.
8:37, and we continue following the breaking news that happened overnight, all night long, and we're talking about almost that wood pile fire that's burning in Woodbury.
That's right. Shannon Lilly has been speaking to people nearby about what they're seeing on the scene. And Shannon, it looks a lot clearer than it did earlier this morning.
Absolutely. We've seen significant progress, Taylor and Tom, just within the hours that we've been here. You can see here behind me, though, the ramp to get on 83 South is still closed, and Cold Spring Lane still closed, but the interstate's back open, and what we're seeing behind us has changed drastically from what we were seeing earlier this morning. So you see the smoke still billowing up there, fire crews still working very hard, dousing those hot spots with water like they've been doing all morning long, but we don't really see any flames like what we were seeing this morning. Some of those flames, even in the video from last night, getting pretty high, but that has since been put out from what we can see, and so a lot of progress being made just in the last few hours. We know that this was a giant effort, still is, to get this fire under control. More than 100 firefighters out here to put this fire out. The biggest priority that we've heard is that they say they want to protect the surrounding area and contain the fire. So to do that, they've been moving in heavy equipment, try to cut a ring around the fire and contain it in that way. But now to the impact, we have seen some pretty major impacts here, even just on Cold Spring Lane, where the road is blocked off. A lot of drivers turned away, confused, trying to get to work in the morning. We also spoke with a woman who lives in the area. Take a listen to the impact that this has had on her.
Started last night. I was coming home on the light rail. The light rail got shut down. The bus came to pick us up. We saw the fire. I mean, it was blazing all night long. The helicopters were hovering. This morning, I get up to go to work, and right now my car's in the shop, so I'll go take a light rail. And of course, the guy that was down there already said, I called, the train is coming at 7:08. Then we find out that it's shut down. It's really inconvenient.
So certainly an inconvenience to a lot of people who commute this way. We know Interstate 83 was shut down for quite some time in both the north and southbound lanes. But again, progress this morning as that interstate is now back open, and what we're seeing behind me looks to be a lot better than what we were seeing when we first got here on the scene. No injuries have been reported and no evacuations have been needed at this point, according to the fire chief. And as far as how this fire started, that is still being investigated. Reporting live, I'm Shannon Lilly, Fox 45 Morning News.
All right, thank you, Shannon. Happening right now, Fox 45 News has our annual Toys for Tots roll call happening at the Towson University Auburn House. Volunteers from all over our region come support this organization to help bring holiday joy to children across our state.
Somebody who's been all smiles this morning on Towson's campus, Olivia Dance. She's been having a lot of fun. I mean, you've really been partying out there as people are bringing things for the kids in our Toys for Tots. Olivia, who do you have with you now?
Well, I mean, Tom, we know that Santa's here, so it's been a party all morning. But it's even more of a party now because we have Chick-fil-A, and we have the Chick-fil-A cow all ready for Christmas here. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. This is Lisa, representative from Chick-fil-A.
Our pleasure.
You guys have quite a few toys here. Talk about the partnership with Toys for Tots.
Wow, this is our 4th year, and we do something a little different. We do an online wish list from Amazon.
Oh, wow.
And if you can do this from the comfort of your own home, it's cold today, it's a great day to do it. If you order a toy and it comes to the wish list for us to bring to the Marines, we send you in the mail,
Very
old school, a BOG, Be Our Guest card for a free Chick-fil-A sandwich. It's a win-win for everybody, and that's a thank you, because we know how important this cause is, and we know how important it is for the Marines. So we want to thank you for caring for these children in Maryland.
Absolutely, and just so convenient to be able to do that straight from the comfort of your home. And we have lots of amazing organizations here today. We're going to talk with them coming up in just about 30 minutes. But thank you so much, Lisa and Chick-fil-A, for being here. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Olivia. Does your teen frequently snore? Just ahead, we're going to speak to the doctor on the negative impact snoring has on teenagers across the board.
And of course, we've been dealing with the massive woodyard fire and its critical impacts on the city, the detours that it was created from the flames, and we're talking about light rail and the JFX. 8:42, you're watching Fox 45 Morning News. We're all local all morning.
This Fox 45 News segment is sponsored by the University of Maryland School of Medicine.
Well, snoring, as you know, may be a sign you just aren't getting enough sleep. But now researchers at the University of Maryland School of Medicine have found snoring in teens may present a whole set of new challenges that parents need to be aware of here. UMD ear, nose, and throat specialist Dr. Amal Isaiah is with us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So let's talk about this. Teens are a particular group we haven't really talked much about in terms of the impact of snoring. What have you guys found in your research? And tell us a bit about what that research entails.
Sure. So what we know about snoring has always been from younger children who snore. This is the first study of its kind that has obtained data from almost 12,000 kids over a period of 5 years. So the study basically concluded that adolescents who snore frequently tend to have problem behaviors.
So behavioral health issues are connected to snoring. So how does that come out to play? How did you guys find that in the study? What made that prevalent?
So the principal issue is that many of these children tend to be misdiagnosed with ADHD. So they go on stimulant medications. So diagnosing the snoring and managing it appropriately means that they could potentially come off the stimulant meds.
Interesting. So in this study, is there anything that you want parents to take from it or young people to take from the study about snoring? What should they do if they have that issue?
Don't brush it aside. I think the main message is if you're hearing your teen snore, specifically more than 3 nights a week, I think that's time to check it out and take your teen to the pediatrician to have a further assessment.
Okay. And when you guys looked at this study over the 5-year period, did you see that behavioral health issues tend to increase over that period? Is it worse longer than you wait, or?
Great question. Remain stable over time.
Okay, okay. Something to certainly watch out for. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Isaiah. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
8:47 is your time right now on our Weather Authority forecast this Friday morning, the first full weekend of December. Advent is underway. Of course, Hanukkah not starting until after Christmas this year. So Thanksgiving was late, Hanukkah's late, Kwanzaa's the same day, but Christmas always the same day, just 19 days away from right now. Looking at our live cam over downtown Baltimore, looks calm right now, still picking up a little bit of that wind, and we're still going to be windy and cold today, but when you kind of take a quick glance at the weekend weather, upper 30s today, low 40s, less wind tomorrow, and mid 50s. Sunday looks to be probably the best day over the next 7 days. We'll talk about why that is in just a moment. Now, this has been interesting. I've been watching this all morning, trying to get any kind of reports, and we've seen a few flakes flying. There have been some reports of a little bit of some light snow in parts of Carroll County, even northern Baltimore and Harford County as well. This is all just lake effect snow that the radar is really picking up in the middle and upper levels of the atmosphere. We're just so dry at the surface with all of that wind that dried everything out yesterday afternoon, and that is why we're not actually seeing any kind of snow that's falling at this time. These are the current wind gusts, still seeing 20 to 25, even close to 30-mile-an-hour gusts there in Westminster and Frederick, even 20 to 30-mile-an-hour gusts for you on the eastern shore. So it's that northwesterly wind that's going to be a little bit more westerly as we go throughout the day today. And these are the wind gusts we're looking at through about 9 o'clock this morning. We'll see teens and 20s, and as we go later into the afternoon, kind of that 15 to 20 to 25-mile-an-hour range. But by the time we get to about 6 o'clock tonight, wind is expected to die down, especially as we get in the late night hours and into tomorrow as well. And humidity numbers, well, it's definitely dry. Right now, they're in the 50 and 60% range, but they'll drop as we go throughout the day, again, because we just got so dry with all of that strong wind yesterday. There's Hank the Bird hanging on with his talons to his little branch there. Yeah, thanks, Hank. Next hour, lower 30s, but upper 30s by about noontime. We'll get those mid to upper 30s for a lot of you later this afternoon. Still well below average across Carroll and Baltimore counties. 35 Eldersburg and Westminster. 36 Reisterstown down through Catonsville, right about 40 degrees in Perry Hall and White Marsh this afternoon. Hartford, Cecil counties, upper 30s here over the next couple of days or next couple of hours and into the afternoon. We'll see those high temperatures that will be still below average. But finally, sneaking back above average, especially on Sunday and Monday. Look at those low to mid 50s, even close to 60 by Tuesday of next week. So that will feel a lot nicer, even though it does come with our next weather maker. So 3 days looking good. Next 3 days, that is, dry. Rain rolls in late Monday morning. Will be with us most of the day. A bit of a break from the rain Tuesday, but warmer temperatures. And then another round of rain coming in by Wednesday of next week.
Pigskin Predictions is sponsored by your local McDonald's owner-operators. For great deals all football season, download the McDonald's app today.
Christmas season, the time for giving gifts. So does that mean I have to gift my next challenger a win? I don't think so. You wouldn't want it anyway. You want to earn it, don't you? I know. I already knew that. Howard County Executive Calvin Ball is my challenger for this week's Pigskin Predictions. You stay busy, though. Do you even get a chance to watch football?
I always watch our Ravens.
Okay, all right. Well, so then you don't get to bet on them this week though, because they have the bye, and I think we need it after that last game.
We do.
We do. All right. Cleveland Browns at Pittsburgh Steelers, though. What do you say?
I'm going to go with the Browns. I think that they are hungry and they know this is a division need.
It is a division need, but the Steelers are playing at home, and I think the Steelers are mad because they lost already to the Browns. I'm going to go with the Steelers. I know. One of your staff already said nobody picks the Steelers. I did it. I'm sorry. But I just think they're going to win.
But after that whooping, the Browns are going to be ready.
No, I'll go with the Steelers. Carolina Panthers at Philadelphia Eagles. Boo to the Eagles. They beat up on us a little bit, but
boo to the Eagles, but they are on fire, and they're probably going to win.
They're probably going to win. So we're both going with the Eagles. No doubt about that. Buffalo Bills at Los Angeles Rams.
I think the